Warning, we are a spoiler-based podcast. At times, we are also an offensive podcast, and we are most certainly a verbally explicit podcast. So if you fear for any of your delicate sensibilities, please back up now before you reach the point of no return. This is your final warning.
Hello and welcome to the continuing episodes of Cinematic Anarchy. And today we are doing a two-person podcast once again, much like we did earlier on in the week with Miss B.
Yep.
Things happen and Omar disappears. Sometimes in the middle of the podcast, sometimes before it. Unlike Seth, he actually shows up. We knew.
Seriously, though.
We knew that he was not going to be here. That being said, we're going to go ahead and discuss a fairly new film. We don't get to do that all that often. We usually review things that are at the very least 5 years old or more. In some cases, thanks to Omar, almost 50 years old. Actually, no. Now that I think about it, that was from like the 1950s, that movie he made us watch, wasn't it? So that would make it about 70 years old.
Yeah.
He made us watch a movie that was as old as a full-fledged elder. Just yeah. So we watched this week a movie that I'm gonna go ahead and give the title actor. Ooh, you got a lot of noise going on over there. What was that?
Yeah, no, fucking people are being assholes.
Well,
I live on a main road next to a hospital. Fucking someone's just revving their engine in front of the house for no reason.
Usually when people do that, it's because of, a
they
very
have
specific...
a little dick.
That was what I was going to say. I was going to go the roundabout way. I was going to say it's a specific disease, a mental disorder, small penis syndrome. You went straight to the point.
Small dick.
I beat around the bush.
Yep, no beating around the bush.
No pun intended.
Fucking
anyway,
ridiculous.
So, what I was going to say is I'm giving the title actor an honor that I don't give all that often. And I am putting him right up there with Vince Vaughn, just somebody who I am used to seeing as just a big, lovable goof who just pulls off a role so perfectly that, I mean, he was dead creepy in this movie. And
fucking...
everything up to that, just removing his shirt in the middle of the movie, just for the Brotherhood. Oh my God, no. So we're talking about Becky.
Kevin James was a fucking very convincing, intimidating Nazi.
Yes, very much so. To the point that even his companion Apex was afraid of him.
Who fucking towers over him like a whole 2 feet.
Well, I feel like it was sort of a neo-Nazi George and Lenny situation, where this guy sort of, even though he is so, George is so much smaller than Lenny is, Lenny listens to him because Lenny's the George is the leader, the guy that basically acts as his conscience. The mastermind, yes. Or in this particular case, it sounded like it was like a father-son relationship almost. He kept calling him son frequently.
Well, I mean, that's kind of what you do to, like, take away their, like, individuality, their humanity, fucking, like, you belittle the person to make them feel small.
Well, yeah, very true, very true. So, there's only one thing in this movie that one actor, I should say, that I really could have cared less for. And, that was Joel McHale. The dad.
Lulu's father?
Yes, yes.
Or Becky's father, sorry.
Well.
Played by Lulu Wilson.
Becky, played by Lulu Wilson, yes. And if any of you are wondering who Lulu Wilson is, she's better known for she was in the Annabelle series. if I'm not mistaken, and she was also in a bad spin-off of an already bad movie called Cop and a Half. I think this one starred her and I think it's Lou Diamond Phillips, if I'm not mistaken. Well, I love Lou Diamond Phillips back in the 80s and 90s, but his recent stuff has been pure trash. He was an A-lister for a long time, B-movie material all the way right now.
Yeah.
But he's still making money, so he makes more money than I do. So I can only bash him so much. Hey, you did Cop and a Half, but you probably got, several $100,000 for that. I'd make that in 10 years.
Yeah.
So,
dude, I feel that.
right? As much as I want to shit on actors for doing a bad job, as much as I sit here and I'm like, Joel McHale was shit in this movie.
They get paid good money.
It's like, yeah, they got paid really good money. And honestly, his bad performance did not take away from my excitement for this movie at all. This is like Home Alone if it was a gory horror movie.
Home Alone should have been a gory horror movie. Are you fucking kidding me? Those traps?
Right. Did you see... oh, God. See, I should have done a little bit of research on this particular... I want to say it's a YouTube show where they debunk...
Oh, dude, I know what you're talking about.
Basically, they debunk the things in movies.
Fucking people that fucking... They like, did all of the little, like, fucking booby trap things that Kevin did in Home Alone, and they were like, yeah, no, this would kill you.
Right.
Like 10 times.
Any number of those traps that these guys had fallen prey to would have killed, like, the average human being.
Exactly.
So.
And it's not like they were in the best...
No, it was, what was it? Joe Pesci and I can't remember the taller guy's name. He was really popular back in the 80s and 90s. He's also kind of fallen off. But
hang on 1 second. I'ma find it. I'ma find the name. 2 seconds.
I want to
Don't
say it's
let
like
there be
Daniel
dead
something or
air.
other. Oh, you're gonna find it? You're gonna Google it?
I'm gonna Google it. I'm doing the thing. Well, no, I'm IMDbing it.
Right. See, this is why we need a third on the
Daniel
podcast.
Stern.
Daniel Stern. This is why you almost always need a third on the podcast, because one of us usually drops out to Google something mid-podcast, and you need to have that banter going back and forth while the person's Googling things.
Yeah, right? Or, we just prepare better.
Or we just, do the...
There's no way we could have prepared. Yeah, there was. But,
There's plenty of ways we could have prepared.
Go with the flow, man.
Right. Well, this is not a prepared podcast or an edited podcast or anything to that nature. We just kind of sit here and shoot the shit and do what we do.
Yeah.
So, honestly, for what little I've seen of Lulu...
I love this fucking movie.
She did a fantastic job just playing outright just broken in this movie. Like, major psychotic break seeing her father killed in front of her. And she was already going that way.
The whole already her... Yeah, she was already fucking struggling because her mom died from fucking, like, cancer. And her dad decided to remarry a year later. Less than a year.
Right. Okay, maybe there's a few things that I kind of was wondering about. Did they ever mention what that key was for? The key that he's looking for?
No, which is why they're probably going to make a sequel.
Right, like another group coming after her for the key.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so that makes sense. Becky 2, Electric Boogaloo. No.
Oh my god.
I really fucking hope not. No, but like she did a complete psychotic break in this movie, and I really expect to see some pretty decent things from her in the future.
Yeah, me too. Fucking, I've been recommending this movie to people for the past couple of weeks. Like, it's really good.
And now we're just doing an outright.
And every time I'm like, Kevin James plays a Nazi, and he's actually scary, and everyone's like, "What the fuck?"
Right? Like, I mean, he did a like I said, a Vince Vaughn level turn. Like when we watched that Cell Block 99 movie, we did not expect what we got. Like just outright vicious through the entire movie. And the same guy.
It was good.
Pigeonholed as a goofy, lovable guy his entire life. Even the toughest movie that I saw him do, where he played the school teacher who decided to become an MMA fighter. Even that performance, he wasn't even remotely as intimidating as he was in this movie.
Like, fucking props to Kevin James, man. He did really good.
He did. He did a fantastic job. And that's one of the main reasons I love this movie. Just those two right there. Kevin James, Lulu Wilson. It could have been just a cat and mouse game between the two of them the entire movie, and I still would have watched. Take out the rest of the damn actors. They were just filler. Or people for Lulu to kill off. I feel like
I don't even know. Like, I don't know what else to say. Like, this movie was just non-stop, like, good content.
Well, I mean, she did it. That's all, folks. I keep hearing that. Like, I'm stuttering a little bit or stammering a little bit as I go along. I keep hearing the stammer coming out of my head, and I can't stop it. Do you hear that a lot from me? Where I go, the.
Well, sometimes, but, like, it's not a big deal.
Now that I pointed it out, you're going to be listening for it. It's like, well, you should have shut up. Now that you pointed it out, I'm going to hear it all the time. Fuck you, man. What the hell?
Well, I'm already toasty, so I'm probably going to forget about that in like 10 minutes.
Fair enough. You know me. I'll point it out again. I got a bit of a self-deprecating sense of humor, so just.
I feel you.
Or self-depreciating.
Self-depreciating.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think I used the. I think I said no. I think I used a mixture of depreciating and defecating, which made no sense. Like I just mixed them both up, made my own word.
That's fine, dude. Verbal diarrhea.
I appreciate the fact.
It's okay to ramble.
There's a lot of movies that like go to the hour and a half mark, and I'm disappointed because they didn't stretch it out enough. I appreciate what they did with this movie and leaving it at the hour and a half mark, because I feel like if they had tried to stretch it any further than that, you would have lost a lot of the intensity in the film. Like
fucking dude, and like the entire movie, Lulu's little like song to her mother. So I've been looking for like a full version of the song that she sings. Can't find it anywhere. It's not, like, it doesn't exist. I'm pretty sure it's like Lulu Wilson's original.
Okay. So
and
it may exist as part of a soundtrack.
Nope, I looked up the soundtrack.
It's not even on the soundtrack, really. Huh.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe they just asked her to sing and she just sang, you know.
Yeah, right?
I
don't know, but she's got a great voice.
I liked the initial.
Like, the kid's talented. She's going to go places. Well, more places than she already had. Like, she's already really successful.
Well, I mean, she has had a few films. She's fairly young, so, I mean, with this one under her belt, honestly, I've seen this and I've seen the Cop and a Half movie. So, definitely, this is my favorite performance. I haven't. You know, people are going to shoot me in the ass for saying something like this, but I've not seen the Annabelle movies at all. It's just nothing that really interested me. You have?
Nope, I dropped my headphone.
Oh, okay. So, you did. Okay, you have seen the movies. Are they decent?
I have seen the movies. They're all right. It's not like they're I don't even want to say it's not like they're repetitive. They are kind of repetitive, just like every sequel is to everything. But I like the whole, they jump from different storylines.
Okay.
Because it all started with, like, The Conjuring, right?
All right. Yeah, I believe so, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so, like, I like that whole, like, storyline. They jump from, like, The Conjuring to Annabelle to, like, you know, different shit. It's all connected, but, you know, it's not like Conjuring 1, 2, 5, 8, fucking whatever.
They just spun off Annabelle to give her own thing.
There's, like, fucking 7 or 8 movies to that, like, collection.
Yeah, I believe there are now, aren't there? Annabelle has at least 3, if I'm not mistaken. Or was there more?
Conjuring has 3.
So that would bring it into about 6. I'd have to look it up, and I don't.
And then there's like a couple other spin-offs, but like I like the whole different viewpoints that they give.
Now I'm sitting here looking up Annabelle.
Do
right,
things and words. This is why we need a third person. Omar!
Where the hell are you?
It's okay. No, we understand. Things happen.
So it looks like it starts with, okay. So this is the Conjuring timeline, which order to watch them in. So what you do is you start, The Nun is part of that series.
Yep.
So you start with The Nun, then it's Annabelle Creation, Annabelle, then The Conjuring, Annabelle Comes Home, Curse of La Llorona?
Yep.
La Llorona?
La Llorona.
Okay. I tripped on my tongue for that one.
La Llorona. Or La Llorona.
The Conjuring 2, and then The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It.
Yeah, so there's a whole bunch to that.
Of course, that last one is a new release this year. Devil Made Me Do It.
Okay, so that's not even out yet.
No, so that's the next one in the series, and also the last one in the timeline. So if you're to watch the movies so that you get it from beginning to end via the timeline, you watch it in that order.
All right. Well, I've seen all of them so far. So like, there's people driving by with loud music.
Well, I don't hear it at all, so I think we're good.
That's because I mute every time I'm not talking.
That'll probably help
I'm
us.
I'm a smart person.
Right. That'll probably help us not be able to hear it. You're correct.
Yeah, right.
Just don't do what Omar does, is mute and then start talking without realizing you're still on mute. He does that all the time.
Yeah, no, there's a little microphone icon thing that says I'm muted in the bottom of the screen when I'm not, like, yeah.
Even when you're not on mute, I can't hear the music, so I didn't hear it at all.
Well, they're gone now.
Well, then that's logical, that I can't hear the music because there is no music at this time. So that works. So 5 stars. That's what I rated it when I watched it on Vudu. I gave it 5 stars because I feel like it was like well worth it completely.
Oh wow! So you watched it on Vudu?
Yes.
Did you have to pay for it?
I bought it.
Oh, I was gonna say, because like I bought it on Amazon, but if I could have watched it for free on Vudu, I would have saved the fucking. It was only like $12.
No. I actually watched it on Vudu. I purchased the movie because I know that I was going to watch it, and then they were probably going to watch it separately. My daughter and her boyfriend. So, and I watched it with Ben this morning. I was going to have him sit down for the podcast, but he's doing the artwork, so that's good.
I feel. Yeah, I've got some artwork that I gotta finish working on by the end of the weekend.
Is that for your podcast or just stuff you're doing separately?
Separate stuff.
Oh, okay.
It's new artwork for Junie's latest song that he released, Stay Okay.
Yeah, the one I just watched that on YouTube last night. It popped up on
my
feed. I liked it.
It's a vibe.
I brought Ren in here to show her who we were talking about, and she was just amazed. It's like, yeah, this is the person that did the opening music for Miss B's podcast. I still am slacking. I have not contacted him to try to figure out how to work out an arrangement to do the music for this podcast.
Yeah.
So, however, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know if I like Junie. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know if that would have the same vibe for Cinematic Anarchy. You know what I mean?
I mean, he's got like a wide range. It's not like just the typical.
I'm still gonna reach out to him either way and see what we might be able to figure out.
Yeah, like he's got like a decent range on what he can do.
And just in case anybody is actually listening to this, which I hope that they are, I know there are a couple people that listen to the podcast. Junie the Wiccan, you can find him on YouTube. He actually has his music out on Spotify now, and I think he's in SoundCloud as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, he is.
So go ahead and look him up on any one of those apps. You'll be able to find him. It's Junie the Wiccan. I want to make sure that I give him a nice shout out. I'd like to have him back on the podcast sometime. It was actually fun to have on that day.
Oh yeah, dude, he's like totally down.
So just we got to do a little bit of filler because we haven't quite gotten to the point where I want to just cut it off and go to break yet. So I was actually going to say right. I was going through Amazon yesterday and 2 movies popped up that I really want to watch for the podcast. All
right.
Daniel Radcliffe's newer film, Guns Akimbo.
Yes! Oh my god! Okay, so there's this song in that fucking movie that I have been listening to for the past, like, month and a half that just fucking... Oh god, it's such a good song! It's called 3 Words.
Okay, I was waiting for that. 3 Words, okay.
I can't remember the artist. Give me 2 seconds, it's on my Spotify.
Okay.
Bum, bum, bum.
So...
on my Blunt Cruise playlist.
All right,
3 Words by AKA Block.
Okay.
Featuring James Lamb.
I am literally sitting here in the middle of my podcast, adding that to a listening list so that I can listen to that after we are done for the day. But no.
Yeah, dude, oh my god, it's a fucking great song.
So in the vein of wanting to listen to newer, or not listen to, we're just talking about music, like for like 5 minutes, watching some newer movies. I really wanted to see Guns Akimbo, and then there was another movie called Knives Out that I wanted to watch, which is also now free on Vudu. Both are now free on Vudu.
Fuck yeah!
So you don't have to pay for either one of them.
Nice.
That I'm happy.
But yeah, no, like not just like that one song, but like Guns Akimbo is a really good fucking movie.
I'm looking 3 little words or 3 what?
3 Words by AKA Block.
Found it. Okay. I'm like, that's why I couldn't find it. No, don't play right now. Don't play right now. It's like, why can't I find this thing? Yes, let's do copyright infringement in the middle of the podcast. Fantastic. Let's get booted off of our networks. That's what I want to do.
Fuck yeah.
Well, actually, I don't think it would
totally.
I think you get around copyright infringement if you play something and then immediately, like, you have to list them and give them credit in the, like, hey, this music was by blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I think some people are all right with that. Some people are still kind of, hey, you used my music, cease and desist. They'll send you legal orders of cease and desist, which I'm not even looking to broach that subject.
A few problematic artists that I could name.
Metallica. We'll just name them right at the top.
Katy
Metallica.
Perry.
Huh? Katy Perry?
No, not Katy Perry. Taylor Swift.
Oh yeah. There's a couple. Bruce Springsteen does it all the time.
Yeah.
He specifically does it because he doesn't like his music to be used for political rallies. Yeah.
That's understandable, though.
Well, I mean, he's the guy that created the song Born in the USA. You know?
Yeah, but still.
So, I mean, why would you want anything that's part of your legacy used to promote somebody's political jackassery? You know?
Yeah.
Especially if it's somebody you don't agree with at all. I'd stop them dead. No, we're not going to do that.
Absolutely.
I'll send you the cease and desist order. You cut that shit out. Problem is, by the time they've used it, what are you going to say? It's like, I can tell you cease and desist, exactly. Don't use this anymore, but you've already used it. So that's how you found out. Yeah, I think we've talked out this movie. I mean, I want to talk more about it, you know. Well, yeah, we can go into one last thing. The creative killings throughout the entire movie. My son loves horror movies. And that initial scene where she basically hammered with her, was it her fist or whatever, that ruler through the guy's neck?
A broken ruler.
Sharpened ruler through the guy's neck.
Yeah.
He was just like, whoa. He goes, I like watching horror movies, but that was disgusting. That really kind of made his eyes were like wide, just watching, like, whoa. So we knew that we were in for a graphic
Apex's whole like turn of character was nice.
I felt so bad for him, but it felt like right along lines with the psychotic break for Lulu's character.
Yeah. Like he turned around, apologized, said she needed to get out of there, and she shot him in the head.
Right. Well,
he got down on his knees.
At that point, he was basically saying, he goes, I've done bad things all my life, and I don't think I could ever be forgiven. And as he's in the middle of saying, but me helping you out tonight may be the first step to, and then she just shot him and just started screaming at the top of her lungs.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she lost everything. Except for Diego. Diego survived.
The scene where she basically took friggin' Kevin James's eye out.
Yeah.
That was...
And he had to fucking... His little buddy tried cutting it out with safety scissors.
It's like, what the hell are you doing? And he just cut it out himself. And,
I mean, at that point, I don't blame him.
My thing is at that point, though, I mean, he's still got the eye attached to him. Why wasn't there more screaming from him when he cut it out? He was very calm.
Because he's accustomed to pain.
That's very possible.
He's a masochist.
It's possible that he's accustomed enough to pain that is probably dulled his senses to it. He's like
trained himself to like not react as rashly.
I wonder how much of that lawnmower he felt.
All of it.
Because I like that they didn't.
She's got a thing with like using motors.
Oh yeah. I like that they didn't go overboard with the kill. Like, they literally made it look like she had mowed his face off, like, just a straight... left that part right there, like, the part that was below where the blades were, as she ran him over. I like that they didn't go overboard and just splatter the whole thing, take the whole head off. They actually showed that she just leveled his face off down to the back half of the brain.
Yeah. Dude, this was a really good... fucking well put together movie.
I mean, I don't know what I would rate this. I don't think I'd call this a horror movie. I'd rate it more as like a thriller.
A thriller?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just edging because of the gore to the line of being a horror movie without quite going over the line to horror movie. You know, I think it stays as like an intense thriller the entire time. So
yeah. I'm yesing you to death. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're yesing and I'm talking too much. So, you know,
C'est la vie.
As of late, that's the thing. When there's more than one person on the podcast, I tend to lay back. Like, more than two people, on the podcast, I try to lay back a little bit and let everybody talk. And, like, for some reason, it doesn't matter if it's you, Omar, Seth... I just talk, and it's like, you need to shut me up. Just reach out and, like, you can't do it here, obviously, because you're across the way in your car. But, like, when you're here, just smack me in the head. Chris, stop. I need to talk. That being said, I think we've talked out the movie.
We have.
Talked it to death. I've ruined several things. You've ruined several things for people. We put that disclaimer at the beginning of the podcast, people. If you didn't listen, well, that's your own fucking fault. And we're going to go dip out to sponsors.
Fuck yes!
We will be right back. We've only got 2 people here today, so we will not be doing the pitch storm as we normally do. We're going to go ahead and break out the Master Debaters card deck, and we'll see what kind of interesting topics we can come up with from that.
Yeah!
Thank you for sitting through our sponsors once again, and we are back after having talked for nearly 20 minutes while we were on break. It's only 30 seconds to you. It was 20 minutes to us, which we should have recorded because it was all fantastic content, and yeah.
God damn it!
We let it go to waste.
I was rambling about the geckos and, like, vet shit and whatever, and god damn it, that was all good shit.
And, that's the getting to know you stuff, the stuff that makes people actually want to listen to somebody, because then they get to know the actual person who is presenting the podcast. And in all honesty, it's not like we are, like, Joe Rogan famous, or even, Don Rogan famous. Whoever the fuck Don Rogan is.
People say, what?
We're getting our names out there in unconventional ways. Miss B has gone on TikTok to she did a thing for TikTok that got us some inadvertent, because she was promoting Junie, but she got us some inadvertent listens by putting some of our information up there. So.
Fuck yeah!
And, I have been going to different social media places. There's a game that I played a little bit that I got some people. My daughter keeps warning me. She goes, be careful of the people on that game. It's called Party in Your Dorm. It's a weird game. It's not really all that fun to play, but there's a real good social aspect to it. So you get to talk to people from around the world because the app is presented around the world. And I've got a new listener for us in Texas, one in England, and one in New Zealand. Not New Zealand. New Zealand? Yeah, New Zealand. And I believe there was the young lady from Australia that I talked about a couple weeks ago.
True that.
So, I mean, it's getting us some listens, but you just got to keep going out there and keeping our noses to the grindstone. I don't like to say just grinding,
do the thing.
So we're going to go ahead and start
the thing.
Yes, do the thing. We're going to start this half of the podcast with the Master Debater cards. I like the cards. I hate the name of the game. I really do. It's because my filthy mind always just goes to, the name of the box, which is Master Debater. And,
yeah.
And as
Sorry,
you can see,
keys jingling and stuff.
As you can see, the 2 people that are debating are in a compromising position on their little boxes. It looks horrible. However, yes, we're going to go ahead and start with we're going to just grab several at random here. We're going to start with the first in the deck. It would definitely be cooler to have a pet A, dinosaur, or B, robot.
Dinosaur.
I'm going to say robot. Only because you can program a robot not to fucking kill you, but you can't guarantee the dinosaur isn't going to turn you into a side of ribs.
Hey man, if that's how I go out, then that's how I go out. But the thing is, you just got to get an herbivore.
Ah, there you go. Very true. Herbivore. Well, that doesn't mean that they may not eat you.
Are you kidding me? Also, robots aren't... Whoa, I dropped my phone. Robots aren't pets. They're technology, so,
A pet robot. Okay, I mean, you could still have a pet robot if that technology was designed for you to have it as a pet. If it was programmed that way.
Oh, god damn it, I just thought about those stupid fucking robot dogs that I used to have when I was a kid.
Yes, and they made those so much more advanced now. They can do so many things now. Okay, you know what I had as a kid?
Those little, like, eye dogs that played music.
You guys had eye dogs. My version of that was literally a dog with wheels underneath. That you clap and it comes to you. And it comes to you. It was basically the clapper of robot dogs. Clap off. Clap off. Heel rover. You know. Alright, next question. You drop your phone. Which is worse? The screen is badly cracked or the buttons no longer work?
Well, the screen badly cracked because, it's a touch screen. No buttons.
Okay. So, I want to say because we can get around the buttons. There are a couple of buttons on the iPhone right now. And I can get around having to use the buttons with just the screen. So if the buttons are the only thing that's broken, I'm good. Because I can adjust volume, I can turn off the phone just using the screen. However, if you bust the screen with one of these, you're screwed. I think the only instance where the buttons being worse would be as if you had an old school BlackBerry.
Oh, God.
You have one key that won't work on that thing and the whole thing's fucked.
Are they trying to, bring BlackBerry back?
I've seen that. I don't want that, but I've seen that. Remember BlackBerries?
I think the companies just, run out of ideas. They're like, everybody wants a keyboard. No, we don't.
No.
Do you know how many of us drop our phones in the toilet? How many people use their phones in the shower?
Not for nothing. I mean, have you seen my thumbs? Right?
The whole, underwater thing?
A BlackBerry keyboard, I'd be mashing 4 buttons at a time.
Exactly.
It's not going to happen. No. We're good.
My dad's got sausage fingers. I love them. And I'm so glad that I didn't get them.
Yeah. I wasn't born with them. I gained a little weight, and I now have them. So...
Yeah.
If I lose a little weight, maybe I'll lose some of that. Here's to fucking hoping. Can you gain weight in your hands? Can your hands get heavier?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have Stay Puft Marshmallow hands by any stretch of the imagination. But I'm just wondering.
Yeah, those are some chonky phalanges.
Yeah. That could mean one of two things. You got phalanges in your toes, too. Same thing.
Finger phalanges!
And phalanges. Okay. Next question. And this is definitely a cinematic anarchy question right here. Who would win in a fight? Indiana Jones or Han Solo?
Han Solo.
Yeah, I want to say Han Solo probably. No. You know why? Because I really feel like Indy's main thing was being able to escape.
Is it are they allowed to use their weapons?
Well,
or is it just hand-to-hand combat?
I want to say that we're talking the characters. So you probably got, Indiana Jones with his bullwhip or whatever, and you got Han Solo with his shooter.
Because Indiana Jones is really good with that fucking whip.
So it's possible that he'd get that shooter out of his hand before he's able to...
Yeah, exactly. You know how many... Isn't that a thing he does, is whip guns out of people's hands?
I think there was one scene where he whipped a scimitar out of somebody's hand.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so he'd whip the gun out of fucking Solo's hand and then whip it around his neck and break that shit.
At this point, he's old enough that he's using that whip to just kind of get that bar across the room and pull him out of bed.
Well, I mean, it's something. He's still got that upper body strength.
I was reading somewhere they have another Indiana Jones movie in the works. What?
Probably,
What?
I don't know, probably his, son or some shit.
Indiana Jones and the Prostate Cancer of Doom. What's going on at this point?
Oh my god.
I have no idea what they could make. They have his son. Do they really need to bring Shia LaBeouf back into this? Because he was sort of still sweet and innocent back when they did that, and now he's
Dude, he got a full fucking torso tattoo for his next movie.
Yeah, they're all real tattoos too. That is real commitment. The thing that I'm looking at, though, it's not far off from what his persona has been as of late.
Yeah.
He went from what, I don't know how much you watched of like 80s movies.
He went from Even Stevens to fucking Transformers.
He went from Breakfast Club Anthony Michael Hall geeky to Transformers, where he kind of became, I don't want to call him a heartthrob in that movie, but he kind of became sort of a man's man in that movie.
Yeah.
And then, but he was still kind of geeky throughout that entire series, so when he was in it anyway.
Yeah, and then fucking Eagle Eye came out and he was like badass.
I think what he's trying to do right now is just shed that persona altogether and try to become something other than what he'd been pigeonholed as, because...
I still need to see Honey Boy.
I heard that was good. I did hear that was good.
I have too.
Though from the name of it, I was initially, like, I was off-put a little bit, like, I don't know if I want to see this. That doesn't sound good.
Honestly, it like, I've seen the trailer a few times, and I don't know why I haven't watched it yet, but it looks really good.
I did. I finally buckled down and watched the trailer, which is something I don't do. See, my thing is that I hear about movies word of mouth from other people. That's how I prefer to do it. Because one of the cardinal sins that Hollywood makes, as far as I'm concerned right now, is they will take a movie and promote... They take all the good stuff and put it into the damn trailer, and then you watch the movie, it's like, I've already seen all the good stuff, so what the hell's the point now?
Yeah, exactly. There's nothing left to enjoy.
Oh,
really.
Especially for a rated R movie with a red band trailer where they have the rated R trailer. Oh yeah, big cardinal sin. There is a movie that I'm looking forward to watching. I just purchased on Vudu. Satanic Panic.
Okay.
Stars Rebecca Romaine Stamos and I guess it's not Stamos anymore. It's just Rebecca Romaine and Jerry O'Connell because they're together now.
Yeah.
But I've seen the previews for it. Just because I was like, I want to purchase this movie, but I'm on the edge because it's like a $10 film, and half the time that sucks, half the time that's good. And I watched the previews, and it looks like it's going to be like a comedy horror about people. It was basically sacrificing this couple trying to sacrifice virgins to Satan, basically. So, all right. I still got a handful of questions. 4 more to be exact, so we're going to move on.
Okay.
The worst job at a kiddie restaurant would be A, wearing the mascot costume and dancing for kids' birthday parties, or B, cleaning the ball pit.
Cleaning the ball pit. Point blank, period.
Oh my god, I would put the costume on any day.
Yeah, no, cleaning the ball pit is worse.
However,
there's no question about it. Like, I've had friends who worked at Chuck E. Cheese, and their kids shit, they piss, they fucking, like, they leave the most disgusting shit in the fucking ball pit. Absolutely not. I will take that fucking costume all day before the ball pit.
My thing is that don't you, I mean, at that point, wouldn't you have to, like, individually take all the balls out and clean them one by one before putting them back in?
Yeah, but they don't do that.
No, what do? Just sanitize the thing?
Probably. Some fucking, like, sanitizer spray.
Probably get, like, one of those backpacks they use for, like, pesticide spray and just the whole thing just before
just,
closing.
Like, stir it around a little bit. Oh, God!
Wait for it to evaporate overnight.
It's already been proven that Chuck E. Cheese, like, takes pizzas from, like, people that have, like, finished their, plates and fucking put them together for the next order.
It's like, well, you didn't eat all that. We're going to go ahead and reheat this and serve it to you. That's why their pizza always tasted nasty, because some pieces are from, like, 3 days ago. Or earlier that day, not 3 days, 3 hours ago.
They're from people's leftovers.
Yeah, no. I'm good.
they make a certain amount of pizzas in the morning, and that's it. Nothing for the rest of the day is fresh.
Yeah, that's sort of nasty.
That's disgusting. It's a huge health code violation.
I'll be honest, I never took my kids to Chuck E. Cheese to eat, though. I was always there for the games. I might have gotten them drinks, but I don't eat. At all.
Yeah, no. My mom used to take us to Chuck E. Cheese, and I never thought about this until, like, the whole Shane Dawson conspiracy thing. As much as I hate to say Shane Dawson, because the whole fucking pedophilia thing.
Right.
That's how I, like, found out about it.
I'm trying to figure out where it is, and I may have to do a little research, but there was a local Chuck E. Cheese that my parents brought me and the foster kids to that actually had a miniature roller coaster inside.
Word.
Yeah, it's like I've never seen another Chuck E. Cheese with that setup, where they had a little indoor roller coaster on top of everything else that they had. It was a larger setup. I want to say maybe Danvers or Peabody. I might be wrong, though. It may be further away than that.
Okay.
Were you old enough to, I don't know, take advantage of Mad Maggie's before it went away? Down in Peabody or Danvers?
I don't think so.
No?
I was up in Plastow when I was growing up.
Oh, okay. Now, this is like Danvers and Peabody, like right near where, I want to say maybe behind where the Liberty Tree Mall is.
Okay.
There was a large facility that was sort of, I want to say a pool hall / arcade. Back when pool halls were a thing. I never went roller skating. I went out and played pool. That's what I did, but I guess
I was a roller skating kid.
Much less athletic than
I had most of my birthdays at Skateland.
My athleticism went way down. I mean, I'm starting to, exercise, do other things. I do a lot. I've been working out a little bit, but my exercise went way downhill after I injured myself playing softball of all fucking things at my high school. Just busted my thumb. That was the second injury at that school, and I was done. I'm like, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm good. Perfectly fine.
Damn.
All right. 3 questions
Next
down.
question.
3 more to go. Are Cheetos a potato chip? Yes or no?
No.
Isn't the definition of potato chip potato?
Potato?
Yeah. I don't think...
It's not made of potato.
I'm going to have to look. Maybe... I wonder if it's made of potato starch.
God. Google it.
Google
do
it.
The Google.
I'll do the Google.
Go to the Google.
I'm going to the Googles right now. Is Cheetos a potato chip? Is it made out of potato? The ingredients for Cheetos.
I think it's corn.
It's possible. We got to keep up the conversation though, so that
words and stuff and things.
Because otherwise, we'll lose the momentum and we will just have dead silence, which we do not want.
I'm over here watching Buffy in the background of your screen.
Right? No, I got Buffy. What is this like? What season is this?
I think this is season 4.
Season 4.
No, season 3.
Season 3. Okay. Oh yeah, this is the last of season 3. It's Graduation Day Part 2, where the principal's supposed to turn into that friggin' monster worm thing. Okay, so we are looking for... No, that is not what I'm looking for. I am looking for the ingredients.
What are Cheetos made out of? How about that?
Okay, so we are correct. There is not an ounce of potato in it. It is made out of enriched cornmeal, cornstarch, vegetable oil, cheese seasoning.
I was motherfucking right!
So, there we go. That ends that debate.
Corn.
That's an easy debate. Cheetos, definitely not a potato chip. Corn chips are not a potato chip. They are a corn chip. There you go.
Exactly.
So, next question.
Next question.
Either A, parents should never read their children's diary, or B, parents should read their children's diaries.
Should never read their child's diary unless they think their child is in some kind of danger.
So I took 2 routes with that one. When Ren was growing up, she didn't have a diary. She had a phone and text messages. And so occasionally she would leave the thing open and I would be like, okay, I want to make sure she's, being safe. So I'd go through it and blah, blah. Occasionally I'd find something and I'd have to talk to her. And she hated that. And constantly changed her password, but then would accidentally leave her phone open. And I'd go and, I was horrible as a parent with her. Oh my God, she hated me so much. I have not done that to Ben at all. I have changed my ways. However, I think the difference is that Ben is not good at keeping those kinds of secrets, so it comes like out in the open. Everything he does is very out in the open, and sometimes blatantly so. Like he could be a little snarky about having some of that shit out in the open. It's like, yes, I was doing that. Do you have a problem?
It sounds a lot like me.
I don't want to talk like weird shit about him on the podcast, though. I don't like without his permission, because there's some stories I could tell.
That's not even like a bad thing, though, because like that's like the confidence, you know.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's some stories I could tell about how blatantly snarky he is about some of the stuff he does. You know, and there's also some stories I could tell about some of the stuff that Ren tried to hide from me, and the thing is that Ben learned he can't hide that stuff from me or my wife because of the fact that we both know when shit's going on. It's like we have a sixth sense that, hey, you know, something's not right here, and I want to figure out what it is, and we'll always sit the kids down and, okay, we're going to talk. It's like, why are we talking? I think you know why we're going to talk. We pull that parental maneuver. You know what we're talking about. Sometimes I don't know what I'm talking about, but I look at them and go, you know what we're talking about. And sometimes they'll just give it up. Yes. It's like, I know something's wrong, but I don't know what it is. So you got to pull that reverse psychology maneuver. You know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
I know what we're talking about. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No fucking idea what you're talking about.
Right. Unfortunately, that also works in a marital setting too, and my wife does it to me all the fucking time.
Yeah, no, that shit would never work with me and Fredo.
Oh, my wife, I have an attention deficit problem. I have a severe ADHD.
Too bad.
And, like, I will be buried in my phone and she is carrying an entire conversation with my forehead. And I am not hearing it because it's hitting my forehead, not my ears. Because I'm looking down. And then I look up and I go, what were you talking about? She goes, you know, it's not even worth it now. I don't want to talk about it. And then I have to beg her to talk to me.
Yeah, no, Fredo won't, like, beg me to talk to him. He'll just sit there and be, oh, okay, fine, whatever, and play his game. It's just like, oh, god damn it, fine, I'll repeat myself. No. That's not how it works here. I have to beg for people to... My kids do it, too. They've learned from their mother. So if I miss a conversation with Ben, he'll just be like, never mind, Dad. And he won't. My wife will talk to me if I beg for a minute. He will just tell me to fuck off and walk away. You weren't listening. If you were listening the first time, you'd know it. He'd leave.
Yeah, he'll come find me.
And then I gotta beg my wife to tell me what he was saying.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. It's hilarious if you're not in the middle of it. And then it's me. And I've got to start paying attention a little better. I've been doing a little better at it, but not well enough. Not well enough. I got to pay more attention. It's like, well, I had medication when I was younger. I don't have Adderall anymore. I technically should be on Adderall or something like that to help with the focus, because I'm all over the place. But whatever.
I feel you, though.
Okay. One last question, and then we are done for the day. Being able to read minds would be A, blessing, or B, a curse?
A curse.
Honestly,
no, it'd be a blessing.
It depends.
And a curse.
I want to say for me it depends. Does your power of... Or does that power of being able to read people's minds, that was it? What do they call it? It's not telepathy. What do they call that? Is it telepathy?
Yeah, it's telepathy.
Telepathy. The power of reading minds, does that come with a control? If you're not able to turn it on and off like a switch, you know, like control whose mind you're reading.
Kind of like with the Buffy episode.
Oh, they did it in Buffy, and they also did it in Charmed at one point, when she became an empath. If you are not able to control that, and you just have people's thoughts invading your mind on a continual basis, that would suck. You'd be in an isolation booth most of your life, just to get away from it.
And it depends on how far that range goes.
Right. I mean, is it something like, hey, I can read... Like, right now, where I'm living, that would suck.
Is it the people that I can see, or is it, like, everyone in the world?
Right, if it was everyone in the world, or even within a 100-yard basis, that would suck. Especially if you live in a city area, you'd never sleep. Hell, 50 paces from where I am right now, up or down, I've got, 12 people living in this entire building?
Yeah.
Just 12 people whose thoughts are constantly invading your mind. You'd never sleep.
I don't even know how many people are in this building. And then, it's just very close proximity to all the neighbors.
Yeah, no, I think that I would call it a curse if you could not control it. If you could control it, if you can turn it off and on and only read a person's mind who you're making, direct eye contact with or something like that, to me, would be a blessing.
I mean, I think with everything, it's something that you'd be able to learn how to control.
Right. I mean, you got to look at human nature, though. There's some people that never learn how to control what they're born with. You know?
You just have to have the right tutor.
Let me finish, because you said something very early. I'm going to get very vicious very quick here. There are some people that cannot learn to control certain parts of their nature. That's why we have pedophiles and we have people in jail, because there's certain things that go on in people's heads that they just absolutely cannot control, and they will not control. So you got to talk about if this is a power that you're given, you're able to control it, or if this is a power that you're given and you need to use your willpower if you have enough willpower to control it.
Yeah.
So, because some people legitimately have no willpower at all. So, like I said, if you were somebody that can get absolute control over it, definitely, if it's a blessing. But you have no willpower and no control, that's a curse right there. It's a 50-50
Yeah,
thing,
exactly.
I guess.
It depends on who can read minds.
There's a few people who's...
It's subjective, person to person,
There's a few people who I'd like to try to make mental contact with, and I want to know what the fuck is going on in your head, because for God's sakes, everything that comes out of your mouth makes you look like a moron.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
I'd like to know if certain people actually think about the shit they say before it comes out of their mouths, because there's certain people, that I just look at and go, I can't... Did you think about that before you said it? Or is it literally like your thoughts and your mouth are connected and it just goes? Because if you actually had to process that thought, then you're dumber than I think. If it just comes out of your mouth, I can almost forgive you for that. But if you had to sit there and think about that for a second and it still came out of your mouth, then you are sincerely dumb.
Facts.
Right. Almost everybody that I've been running across on Twitter. Oh my God.
Oh my God, right?
I swear to God, have you sat down and taken a few minutes to listen to Christopher Titus?
Oh, God, no.
Okay, if he has his own podcast, it's literally the Armageddon Update. That's his podcast. Christopher Titus, Armageddon Update. The reason I ask you to listen to him, I don't really recommend it as much to Omar or whatever, but I think the amount of rage that he approaches stuff like Trump and all the shit that's going on in the world, the stuff that you do on your podcast, he approaches it with just as much rage. And I think you would absolutely love listening to it. I'm not talking about his stand-up routines, because those are all right. But his podcast, I think you would love. Just because of how he approaches that stuff with anger. Even if you only listen to the first 2 minutes of his podcast. Because that's...
Okay.
So his podcasts run from 45 minutes to 2 hours long, depending upon the topic. However...
Yeah.
The top of every podcast, right after his music, he does what he calls the Armageddon Update, which is his topic of the week rant that he does. And that is probably the best part of his podcast. His podcast is usually a pretty decent, spot-on conversation with his wife and whatever tech he has working on at the time. And it's a very good podcast, but at the very least, I recommend you listening to the first, maybe 2 to 5 minutes of a couple of his podcasts and just kind of get an idea where this guy's head's at.
Hey.
So I'm not asking you to invest like 2 hours a podcast, but at least listen to 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And I just talked up Christopher Titus for 5 minutes.
Right?
And I am fairly certain he's not going to give me the same thing. I'm fairly certain he's never heard of us.
No, not at all. But that's okay.
So I'm gonna go
Who
tag
knows?
him. Christopher
Yeah,
Titus.
right. Who knows? Maybe he'll talk to us.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and we're going to tie this up for today. Thank you for tuning in to Cinematic Anarchy. Stay with us later on in the week on Wednesday. We will be releasing the newest episode of Tea Time with Honey.
Tea time. Yeah.
Shit hitting the fan pending, because sometimes things happen.
There's so much to fucking talk about this week. Oh my god.
Yeah, I've seen like the list of like 40 articles that you've sent. I've got a lot of reading to do. Oh my god.
There's so much shit, dude. Fucking Wayfair, Amazon, fucking Milwaukee.
Wait,
like,
Amazon?
Amazon's involved too. They sell Wayfair products. And the products have been found on Amazon.
Will they continue to
sell?
sell?
Who the fuck is paying $10,000 for a pillow?
The government. Maybe they spend that on a toilet seat.
Obviously the government is full of fucking pedophiles.
We'll leave that for tea time.
Oh my god.
Not the end of this podcast.
Yeah, no, dude, this shit. I'm getting heated just thinking about it.
So, you got a few days to let that heat build up, and we can go ahead and scream at the microphone on Wednesday. Sound good?
I am very good at holding a grudge.
I've noticed that. I have noticed that. You've got a couple of particular grudges. You know.
Yes.
Relatives that'll remain
just a couple.
Unnamed today, anyway. Kathleen.
Kathleen.
I just said it too. Kathleen. Oh, that reminds me. I forgot. I gotta go back into Twitter and hashtag her on that one podcast that I put out for you. Hashtag Kathleen
anyway.
New Karen. Okay. Thank you for listening once again, and we'll see you next time around, I guess, maybe. Or
yeah,
if you're a faithful listener, anyway, maybe. Yeah. Just fucking listen, or you already have if you're listening to me now. Just keep listening. Bye.
Oh my god, you're rambling.
I know. I can never figure out how to end these things.